Good afternoon. Today at Toronto Police Headquarters, Homicide Detective Paul Worden will update the media and public on Homicide number 54 of 2016. Detective?
Thank you for attending today. By way of review, on Sunday, October 16th at approximately 1:40 a.m., Jarryl Hagley was with a group of friends inside the pizza store located at 1937 Weston Road. Jarryl and his friends sat at a table inside the restaurant eating the food they had ordered. Shortly after their arrival, two males entered the store and opened fire at the table Jarryl and his friends were seated at. One male was armed with a sawed-off shotgun, while the other male was in possession of a handgun. Both males were in the store for approximately 5 seconds before fleeing the store. When the shooting began, Jarryl and his friends fled to a hallway to a nearby washroom in an effort to escape their attackers. Once in the washroom, it became apparent Jarryl had been shot. Jarryl was rushed to Sunnybrook Hospital, where he succumbed to his injuries. No other injuries were sustained by any of the other parties. As you can imagine, it was a very hectic and traumatizing situation that morning. With the assistance of officers from 12 Division, numerous witnesses on scene, and civilians in the area, interviews were conducted throughout the morning and the following days. It is not uncommon in these situations that witnesses provide information with the honest belief that their information is relevant to the investigation. It's not always apparent what information is relevant at the time, but all leads must be followed up. In this case, investigators were presented with various accounts of possibly involved vehicles and direction of travel from the suspects when fleeing. You can imagine this becomes a time-consuming endeavor, and multiple theories have to be explored when doing our video canvassing, and that's why the delay until today, where we were finally to obtain some video. I would like to thank the store owners in the area, the private citizens, and the Toronto Community Housing Corporation for their assistance in helping investigators retrieve and download all the video. As a result of their efforts, we're going to show today a timeline that shows our suspects arriving in the general area of the murder, how they approached the pizza store, and the route they took when fleeing the store back to their vehicle. I will point out certain aspects of interest in regards to what we believe the suspect vehicle is and a firearm that can be seen on one of the suspects when fleeing. If you want to start the clip, Jeff. This vehicle we believe to be a Toyota RAV4. We're not 100% sure, but that's our strong belief. The street at the back there is Little Street. It leads on to Weston Road. This is a parking lot at the rear of the businesses which front Weston Road. Three males exit the vehicle at this time, and it's approximately 1:39 in the morning. The males will go around the corner, turn right, and will walk out to Weston Road. As you will see, at least one person remains in the vehicle as it is maneuvered around to get into a front-facing position so that it can make a quicker escape onto Little Avenue, which we'll see shortly. Please take note that this vehicle has a roof rack, a sunroof, a spare tire mounted to the rear, and the license plate is not centered in the rear of the vehicle. It's off to the left or the driver's side. This camera now is facing northbound Weston Road. It picks up the three males walking southbound on Weston Road from Little on the west sidewalk. The last male in line is smoking a cigarette. This is now the same camera facing southbound Weston Road as the three males walk south on Weston. And at the very top of the screen is where the pizza store is located at the intersection of Weston Road and John. The three males will continue down the sidewalk until they get to that intersection, where they will then cross the street onto the east side of Weston Road. That is the three males there. They're walking behind the TTC bus. They are crossing in front of a Bank of Montreal, the bank on the corner there. And they will stay outside the pizza shop for a brief time. Right there is when two of the males enter the pizza. And now the males are fleeing. One remained outside as a lookout. They were only in the store for 5 seconds. The males are now going to be running northbound on Weston Road, and Jen will be pausing in something. If I could just have you pay your attention here, this front male, this object here is a sawed-off shotgun. It's got almost like a pistol grip handle, and it would appear to be somehow in a sling or wrapped around his body in some way. He's wearing a distinctive, like a brown type work boot. And I don't know if you better view here, but you can see the butt of the handle more clearly there, and the gun, thankfully, went down that way. That is the male who we believe fired the shotgun. The second male in line, we believe he has the handgun in his pocket, and he's running with his hand in his pocket and holding it. The third male we believe to be the lookout who did not go in the store. A little farther, Jen. And we will have still images of all three of these gentlemen, particularly this one at the end. It's the most clear one we have of any of the three parties' faces. Okay, Jen. Again, the camera facing the other way now. They go around the corner back to the location of where their vehicle's parked. The vehicle pulls out to pick them up. That vehicle starts to move before they get to the corner, so I believe they were in some sort of communication to let the vehicle know they were on their way back. So he's ready to pick them up. The first two males enter from the passenger side, one getting into the front, one getting into the rear. The vehicle turns left onto Little Avenue, which would take you out to Lawrence Avenue eventually. The car pauses to wait for the third male to catch up. And let's reloop it again. The three males drive away towards Lawrence Avenue. We are hoping by the release of this video that somebody will recognize the three males, the clothing, or can associate them to the vehicle. Like I said, we strongly believe it's a Toyota RAV4, but it might not necessarily be. It could be another dark colored SUV. But I would again point out the roof rack, the sunroof, and the location of the plate and the rear tire mounted on the back as indicators to identify the vehicle. I will take any questions at this time.
Detective, do you have any surveillance video from inside the pizza?
Not yet, no.
But were there cameras inside that you're looking at?
Yes. We're not prepared, we're not ready to release it this time. It was a very brief and violent interaction. If video is eventually obtained from there, and it could be used in the court process, and for the sensitivity of the family, we don't want to release that at this point. This is what we've decided to release so far.
I know last Sunday you said that you weren't sure at that point if Jarryl Hagley was specifically the intended target, but the group was. Do you know now if he was indeed the intended target?
We still do not know that. We're still, the best we can say is we know that group of people was targeted. And based on who these people turn out to be, that will give us the indication of what the motive is. We're working right now under the theory of a couple different motives, and depending on which motive turns out to be true, that will help us know which person was targeted.
Were they involved in any disputes earlier that night or anything like that that indicated to you?
What we believe precipitated this incident did not occur that night, but occurred relatively recently in time, which was the cause of this. We've not released the video today, but we do know the reason these three people knew our victims were in the pizza store is that the black SUV had circled the pizza store earlier, and we tracked its movements to eventually parking where it did. So we knew that they had an indication that these people were in there. They came prepared to do the shooting, and based on how the short period of time they were in the store, it was a frenzied attack. They just opened fire in the direction of the table and had no, with total disregard for the safety of anybody in the store.
And were Jarryl and his friends the only customers in the store at the time?
No.
What can you tell us about the confrontation that had happened before between the party that was inside the pizza store and the people that were seen in the video that are, you suspect, are the ones that are involved in the shooting?
I'm limited in what I could say due to the ages of Jarryl and his friends. They would be considered young offenders, and legally I can't go into too much detail about what the prior disputes were about, other than to say that there was one.
How recently are we talking for this prior dispute you think might have sparked this?
It's been going on for the past few months,
Is this gang related?
potentially.
Do you think it's related to other shootings?
Potentially.
In the Weston area in particular, or what part of the city?
Not in this immediate area, but in the surrounding areas.
Do you think that Jarryl or his friends are thought to have been behind other shootings, that this may have been retribution?
I can't say for certain, but I can say that's what the people who were doing the shooting believe. Whether it's true or not, I don't know.
Can you speak to which shootings you're looking at as possibly having been connected?
Not at this time, no.
And when you say that the RAV4 or whatever it is circled around, how long before the shooting was that? Like immediately, like a few minutes before they parked?
Within about 5 minutes.
And did they stop in front of the pizza? And did anybody get out and look, like get a good look inside if they were there?
No, nobody exited the vehicle, but where it was located, pulling up to the pizza store, it was coming from John Street and then turned to go northbound on Weston. John Street's a very small street. You can park on that street and clearly see inside the pizza store. And even though there were other people there, it wasn't overly busy at that time, so it would have been very easy to see Jarryl and his friends from where this vehicle had stopped.
Was this part of Jarryl and his friends, was it part of their routine? They'd go there every night?
I wouldn't say every night. This is a place is known for them that they like to go and eat. Not necessarily at this time in the morning. It can be throughout the day, but it is a known spot where people like to get together in the area.
Is it your belief that the people that shot him may have been looking for him for a while, or are you looking at the possibility that somebody at the pizza store tipped them off, saying they're here now, come on over?
No, I don't believe it was a tip-off situation. I believe that it would, based on what's been going on the past few months, that it'd be very common for whoever may have done this to patrol that area and just looking out to see who's in the area. And he happened to come across this group that night.
When you say you think this might be connected to other shootings, how many other shootings are we talking about?
Without knowing which ones, I don't want to say, but more than one.
Some sort of tit for tat going on between two groups by the looks of it?
That's possible.
Apologies if someone's already asked this. Do you believe that sawed-off shotgun is the murder weapon and is the only weapon used in this shooting?
There were two weapons used, a handgun and a shotgun. The shotgun was the weapon that killed Jarryl.
What can you say about the victim and whether or not he was the intended target of this attack?
I don't know if it was specifically Jarryl, but it was certainly the group of people he was sitting with. It was that group that was targeted. And judging from how quickly it happened, I believe these two parties just aimed in the direction of that group and were hoping to hit as many people as they could.
How many people were Jarryl with?
Yeah.
There was 4 other people he was with at the time, 5 including Jarryl. I would say of the 5, 2 others were potential targets.
Where were
Do
you?
they have criminal, are they known to police? Like,
I
records?
can say they're known to the police. I can't comment on the records due to their ages.
Why do you say 2 others were potential targets? Were the others in the washroom, or where were the other 3? Or the other 2, sorry.
Just based on interviews we've done with all the parties and getting into the background, they were just people from the area that Jarryl knew, and they just ran into each other that night and decided to go for a bite.
Not necessarily involved in the stuff that you think might have led to this shooting.
That's right.
How
What can
many
you-
shots were fired?
It varied 2 from the shotgun and reports of anywhere between 4 and 5 from the handgun.
What can you say about that pizza shop being as small as it is and the fact that there was as much well, as you said, disregard to life. People, they just went in there and basically sprayed and tried to hit as many people as possible.
Just shows that they are very dangerous people, that they didn't care who they hit. There were numerous employees, drivers, cooks, cashier in the pizza store at the time, who have all been very helpful and provided statements for what they knew. One of them called 911 along with one of the friends of Jarryl, so it could have been a slaughter.
Can you say how many people were actually in the store in total, including the staff and Jarryl and his friends?
Seven to 10.
The friends cooperating with you?
Yes.
And when you said that they ran to a hallway and the washroom, you're talking about the one inside the Pizza?
Yes.
So Jarryl was able to get himself there and,
Yes, from all accounts, he didn't even know he'd been shot till or the friends didn't know he'd been shot until they arrived in the washroom and saw that he was bleeding.
How many times was he shot?
With the shotgun and pellets, it's hard to say. They disperse and quite a wide pattern. We do know from witnesses the shotgun was fired twice, I can tell you that, and various projectiles did hit him.
Was he hit?
Pardon?
Where in his body was he hit?
Chest area.
was he hit by the handgun
No.
as well? And nobody else was injured or hit by any gunfire?
That's right. Okay, thank you very much.
That concludes today's conference. The video will be available on the Toronto Police YouTube website shortly.
Can we just keep it rolling?
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me know if you want.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Detective.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Do you want me to pause it?
Before I'm off next week, when you arrest these
Why don't we
guys.
ask everyone else?
Okay, to that spot, right? I'll wait.
Nobody's rolling right now for the city. Are you? I will. I'm not rolling yet. Okay, why don't we go back to the top of the video?
Do you want the-
Nothing else will happen. Oh, it is, oh no, that's them waiting, buddy. That's them waiting. That's waiting? Yeah, that's them waiting, because the back end of the car.
Do you want me to roll it from the start?
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you
go ahead,
start
get
it
it.
over and just get, if you can just get rid of the little controller thing at the bottom.
Yep.
Controller?
You can do that full screen, Chris.